If you've ever wondered why Jesus looked at ordinary people, people with wounds, doubts, fears, insecurities, and said, "You are the light of the world," this is the episode for you. Because he wasn't speaking poetry. He wasn't flattering anyone. He was telling the truth about your origin, your nature, and your purpose. And not the small earthly version, but the cosmic one. Jesus spoke to the part of you that existed before the trauma, before the conditioning, before the ego learned to protect itself, before the world convinced you that you were something fragile and breakable. He spoke to the spark that was woven from the source itself, the part of you the Gospel of Thomas talks about when it says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you." That word save doesn't mean rescue. It means restore, remember, return to wholeness. When Jesus called you the light of the world, he was reminding you of what your soul already knows, but your mind keeps forgetting. You are not a creature trying to earn divine favor. You are a being of divine origin learning to remember what you are in a world that constantly tries to make you forget. And the only reason remembering feels so difficult is because Earth is the realm of forgetting. The density, the chaos, the noise, it all acts like fog over the inner flame. Your job is not to create the light. Your job is to uncover what has been there all along. The Gospel of Thomas goes even further. It has this moment where Jesus says, "There is a light within a person of light, and it lights up the whole world. If it does not shine, that person is in darkness." Think about that. He is not saying the world gives you light. He is not saying he gives you light. He is saying you already have it. The only question is whether you've allowed the world to dim it. And maybe that's where you find yourself today, somewhere between remembering and forgetting. You feel that spark, but life has piled things on top of it. Expectations, fears, loss, the need to please people, emotional bruising, disappointments you still carry in your chest. But none of that means your light is gone. It just means the world tried to cover it, and this is the season where God is uncovering it again. Because your light isn't something delicate. It's not a candle flickering in the wind. It's a shard of the original source, what ancient Christians sometimes call the divine spark, what mystics call the inner Christ, what Jesus himself described when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Not above you, not far away, within you, meaning everything he had, everything he embodied, everything he awakened, you have access to that same current of light. There's a reason Jesus often used the language of light. Light reveals, light guides, light heals, light separates truth from illusion, light exposes deception, light calls things by their real name, light makes the crooked straight. That's why the enemy of your soul tries to keep you in emotional fog. Because if you ever saw clearly, if you ever remembered who you are, if you ever realized the power that lives inside you, you would be unstoppable. And yes, this has cosmic meaning too. When Jesus said, "You are not of this world," he meant it literally. Your spirit did not originate here. You are an expression of the divine source experiencing itself through a human vessel, a spark from the all-spark. To use a metaphor, learning how to awaken inside density. You came here carrying a memory your body cannot explain, a knowing your mind can't put into words, a homesickness you can't quite name. That isn't sadness. That is recognition. Souls who carry light remember the realm it came from. So why does it feel like life tries so hard to dim it? Because every soul with a calling faces resistance. Every soul with purpose encounters darkness. Not to defeat you, but to reveal you. You learn your own luminosity by walking through places that seem to have none. The Gospel of Thomas hints at this too when it says, "When you know yourselves, you will be known." Meaning, the more you remember your divine identity, the more reality rearranges to reflect that truth back to you. So let's bring this down to your life right now. Where have you forgotten your light? Where have you allowed others to define your worth? Where have you dimmed yourself to fit into rooms you were never meant to shrink into? Where have you believed the lie that you're too broken, too late, too lost, too flawed to shine. Those lies are not yours. Those came from a world that fears awakened people. The world prefers you numb, distracted, ashamed. But Jesus prefers you alive. When he said, "A city on a hill cannot be hidden," he wasn't talking about a place. He was talking about you, the parts of you that survived, the wisdom your suffering gave you, the compassion that was carved into your heart, the gifts you don't even realize are gifts, the intuition you downplay, the sensitivity you call weakness, the discernment you question. All of that is light, and all of that was intentional. Maybe you've been walking through a season where it feels like everything is falling apart. But what if it's the opposite? What if everything that is false is falling away so the real you can finally emerge? What if the breaking was actually the uncovering? What if the emptiness was space being made for light to expand? What if the loneliness was God removing the noise so you could hear your own soul again? You do not shine because you are perfect. You shine because you are connected. You shine because the source breathes through you. You shine because you carry divine intelligence in your chest, whether you feel it consistently or not. The real question is not, do you have light? It is, do you trust what God placed inside you enough to let it out? This world doesn't need more noise. It needs more light, more authenticity, more healed hearts, more people who live from love instead of fear, more souls who remember where they came from. And maybe that's why you're here. Not just watching this video, but here on Earth at this exact moment in time. You are one of the ones who came to remember, one of the ones who came to wake up, one of the ones who came to reflect the divine even in the middle of a world that forgets it daily. You are the light of the world. Not because you feel like it every day, but because God said it, because Jesus confirmed it, because the Gospel of Thomas expands it, because the universe bows to the truth of it. That light within you has survived everything. It was never extinguished. It was only waiting for you to see it. So here is your reminder. You were light before you were wounded. You were light before you were afraid. You were light before the world told you who you should be. You were light when God imagined you, and you are still light now. And if you want to go even deeper, here's something to sit with tonight. Light doesn't try to shine. It just shines by being what it is. So maybe your spiritual journey isn't about striving or proving or earning anything. Maybe it's simply about removing whatever keeps you from being your true self. Because when you are aligned with who God made you, the light takes care of itself. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to breathe and let that truth settle into your spirit. You are the light of the world. Not someday, not when you heal everything, but right now. If you want more teachings like this, rooted in the words of Jesus, the hidden gospels, and the deep spiritual truth of who you really are, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who needs it. And if you want a recommended frequency to sit with today, use 963 Hz, often called the God frequency, the frequency of oneness and divine connection. Play it softly, close your eyes, and let it remind your spirit of what Jesus already knew about you. You are the light, and it's time to remember.